Друзі, вітаю на каналі Верба. З вами Ніка Мінченко, and today we will talk about the imperative mood in Ukrainian, imperative mood of the verb. Why this topic is important is because we use this certain type, certain form of the verb when we say some commands, a request, when we tell somebody to do something, like do it. This will be imperative mood. Often will be used in some instructions, recipes, manuals, and things like that. Also, imperative mood is when we suggest somebody else to do something together, like let's do something together. This is also imperative mood. And the third type of imperative mood is when you kind of allow somebody else, some third person, to do something, like, oh, let him or her do it. So today we will see all these three types of imperative mood in Ukrainian, and we'll learn how to form them. By the end you will have a table where you have it all connected, combined, collected, and an exercise to train this topic. So if you go through all of this video, you will definitely know how imperative mood works in Ukrainian. And if you're ready to start, let's go. Почнімо. Отже, let's take a look at this example. Зроби ще 2 рази. Зроби is the verb, perfective verb. Зробити, to do something in imperative mood. So it means do it twice more. And this is the imperative mood, which we use for the second person. So for ти, you, which is informal singular. So зроби, I could say only to a person with whom I have kind of informal communication. The same age with me, my friends maybe. Yeah, so people with whom I say ти. So, зроби ще 2 рази. This is first example. But second person could be a person with whom I have a formal communication, right? To whom I say ви. Or it could be plural, like group of people to whom I want to give some request or command, so some imperative form. What we do then? Press like, subscribe to the channel, and you will find out in a second. So, what we do then? Then we say, дайте мені, будь ласка, 1 кілограм моркви. So, дайте would be this perfective, imperative mood for the second person, but either formal or plural. Give me a kilo of carrots, please, yeah? Дайте мені. Another form of imperative mood is when we suggest another person to do something together, like let's do something. In English, for that, we use 2 words, let's and the verb itself. Let's do, let's go, let's buy, and etc. In Ukrainian, we have a separate form of the verb for that. As you can see in example, поговоримо про майбутні іспити. Let's talk about the future exams. So, поговоримо. This already means let's talk. And this we use for we form, for first person, but plural. Let's do it together. Now, quite often, if you visit Ukraine, you might hear another form. You might hear that some person would say, давайте поговоримо про щось. And this is very popular, it's frequently used nowadays, but this form is not correct for literature Ukrainian language, so it's kind of impact of the Russian language to Ukrainian. But it's used very, very widely. And if you hear it, you need to recognize that it means let's do something. I don't recommend you to use this form, but it's real life, it's a live language, and if you use it, that's also okay. This form will be more correct, more beautiful, and very, very truly Ukrainian. Okay, so we have talked about first person, ми, second person, ти, and we, singular, plural. What about the third person? When we allow somebody to do something, like let somebody do it. In Ukrainian, it will sound like this. Нехай твоя сестра зателефонує мені завтра. So let your sister call me tomorrow. This is third person singular, so could be used for he or she. And it also could be plural for them. Then we would say нехай онуки приїдуть до мене в гості на Різдво. So let my grandkids come to visit me for Christmas. This is third person plural form. So now you have seen all those examples, and we will go a bit deeper to see how actually create these forms of the verbs for each of these three types. So now let's learn how to form those imperative mood forms from Ukrainian verbs. And here it's important to remember that for creating imperative mood, we have three groups of verbs. You can see them here. This is first one, читаю, прочитаю, second one, пишу, напишу, and third one, вірю, повірю. This one will be the most popular, this one a bit less popular, this one will be quite rare. How they are different? In order to define to which group your verb belongs to, you need to put them to я form. So я читаю, yeah? So for imperfective verb, you will put it to the present tense. Я читаю, я пишу, я вірю. For perfective verbs, since they do not have present tense, we would put them to the future tense. Я прочитаю, я напишу, я повірю. And what will be your next step? So you have any verb, you put it to я form, and what you do next? Next step is to drop the ending, the last letter, U or U. And next step is to look what would be the letter that remains. Will it be a vowel like A, for example, here? Or will it be a consonant like in these two situations, right? This already will help you to define the group. So if it's a vowel, if it's A, then this will be always the first group, and this will be the most popular group. But if it ends with a consonant, like in these two situations, what's the difference between them? Here already you need to know where the stress is. So if the ending was stressed, like in the word я пишу, я напишу, so you drop two, but you know that it was stressed. The stress doesn't go to the stem of the word, to the root of the word. Then it's the second group. And third group is where the stress goes to the root, to the stem. Вірю, повірю. This is the most rare group, but it still exists. We have the verbs of this group. So this is how we define which groups we have. And each of these three groups would have own pattern for creating the imperative mood forms of these verbs. Let's start with the first group now. I will make myself a bit smaller. I hope you can still see me. So, what to do when we have defined the group of the verb? For the first group, for T form, when we need to say to a person with whom we have informal communication and it's just one of them, do something like read this book. Then we would need to add ending y, yod, after the stem. Читай. How we will say read in perfective? Прочитай. If we need to say it to a group of people, so you plural, or if it will be formal you, вы, then additionally to our yod, we need to add ending те. Читайте, прочитайте. This actually makes a lot of sense because when we change the verb in present tense, when we conjugate it, we would say the same ending, читаете. The difference is that in imperative mood, we would have this yod before ending te. Then, if we invite a person to read with us, like let's read together, how would we say it? We would need to add to our yod, which we already have, ending more. Читаймо або прочитаймо. Прочитаймо цю книгу. It also makes a lot of sense because ending мо would also exist in present tense. Ми читаємо. But here we have йод instead of є. And another form when we say let him, her or them read something. Then we use the word нехай. You need to remember this word, нехай. Sometimes also could be just хай without prefix не. And after it, he, she or they form of the verb. Like just in present tense or in future tense for perfective verbs. Нехай читає, like він читає, вона читає, right? You just add the word нехай before them. Нехай читає або нехай читають. Нехай прочитає, нехай прочитають. Like let them read or let him or her read something. And this is the whole pattern for the first group. This pattern is the most common. You can make a screenshot now and to practice it with other verbs that would have a stem ended with a vowel. Second situation, second group of the verbs, when we have a consonant in the end of the stem, but the stress would fall on the ending. How we change this kind of words, verbs? So, first situation, for ти, we just need to add ending и. Пиши, напиши. Наприклад, напиши листа або напиши повідомлення. If it's ви, here be attentive. We do not just end ending те, but we add another type of ending. It will be ending іть. Пишіть, напишіть. This will be the we form of the imperative mood for these verbs. For ми, it will be імо. Пишімо, напишімо. Like let's write together. Пишімо, напишімо. For він, вона, the formula is the same as in previous situation and it always is like this. For the third person, it's very simple. You just use нехай or хай and just he, she, they form. Нехай пише, нехай пишуть. Нехай напише, нехай напишуть. So most importantly is to remember these three forms. Yeah, for ти, ви, and ми. And let's go to the last group, to the third group. Я вірю, я повірю. When your stem ends with a consonant, but the stress goes to the root of the verb, then we would have very interesting pattern because for ти form, we would just have zero ending, meaning we do not add any letters there, we just keep the stem. Вір, believe in something. Вір у себе, believe in yourself. Вір у себе, just like this. Or повір у себе, like start believing in yourself. For we form, we would add ending те. Вірте, повірте. So we had zero ending and added ending те. The same for ми, we would add ending мо. Вірмо, повірмо. Вірмо, повірмо, right? Let's believe in something. And for він, вона, вони, again the same formula as before. Нехай вірить, нехай вірять, нехай повірить, нехай повірять. So this third one is always the same and very simple. These are a bit different and you need to be attentive. Here in this table, I will return to you a bit in a bigger scale. So in this table, you have all these endings collected. I recommend you to make a screenshot and to practice with other verbs. So if your stem ends with vowel, you have this set of endings. If with consonant, where the stressed ending was, then this set. And if consonant and not stressed ending, so meaning stressed root of the word, then you have this set of endings. This form for він, вона, вони, so for the third person is always the same. Нехай або хай and he, she form of the verb. So if you keep this table, if you practice enough, If you practice the most frequently used verbs in Ukrainian, it will be enough for you to remember how to conjugate Ukrainian verbs into imperative mood. But I suggest you to practice right now. That would be the best while you still remember all the rules, while your memories are fresh. So here you have a list of the verbs, and I suggest you to do this exercise with them. So you have a table with these verbs, and you have different forms and an example how to change them. So скажи, скажіть, скажімо, нехай скаже, нехай скажуть. Now I want you to stop the video and to spend as much time as you need to fill in the whole table, to do the same with every verb from this table. And in a few seconds I will show you the correct responses so you could check yourself. But please, please, please do it yourself. You will say thank you to yourself after that. So I am showing the results, the responses in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I hope you have done it. Let's check. Here you have all the forms that worked according to the table that we just had, to the rules that we have just learned. I hope you have managed it in the same way. Okay, guys. Also, I wanted to pay attention to these verbs, like купити, зробити, відправити, заправити. Why actually add them? Because we said that to define the group of the verb, we need to put it into ya form. But these verbs, they have additional suffix l in ya form, like куплю, зроблю, відправлю, заправлю, right? Or like люблю, for example. Yeah, they have this additional l only in ya form. So it should be only in ya form and they form. For imperative mood, we do not take this suffix. That is why we also drop this suffix. And in result, we have the same rules as before. So купи, купіть, купімо, нехай купить, нехай куплять. Here we have this suffix, but just because it's they form that normally has this suffix l. Куплю, куплять, but all the other forms like купите, купимо, they do not have it. So imperative mood also will not have it. Now you can again stop the video and fill in this table for these 3 verbs. And I will show you the results. It should be like this. But I'm not letting you go yet. I'm sorry if the lesson is a bit long, but I wanted to give you all the information, just in case. So there is one more option in literature Ukrainian how to create the imperative mood. When we talk about second person, when we say let's play, let's do something together. We learned with you the separate form for this, but also there is another structure with the word numo. So for imperfective verbs, you could use the word numo plus infinitive. Numo танцювати. Let's dance. Або numo грати у покер. Let's play poker. Yeah, so you use just infinitive form and the word numo. It's like in Russian, I told you they use давай, and in Ukrainian we still use it in colloquial Ukrainian, which is kind of a bit illegal. Numo is absolutely legal. It's still a bit more rarely used, but it's very beautiful, very truly Ukrainian, and no, I recommend you to use it. Just try it. For perfective verbs, we use their future we form because we will be doing it together, and also the word numo. So, numo вивчимо вірш українською. Let's learn the poem in Ukrainian. Or numo вип'ємо кави. Let's drink some coffee. So this is how you can create very beautiful structure while inviting somebody to do something together. Plus, this structure is very simple. You either use the infinitive or perfective future V form with the word numo. You don't need to think which ending there is, which group of the verb it is. You can use it with any verbs. So maybe you would even like this structure more. Who knows? But anyway, I wanted to give it to you so you could be sure that you can use it. That's it for today, guys. The only one more thing that I wanted to tell you, I don't know when you are watching this video, but anyway, very often in Verba School, and right now, for example, we launch different group courses, group classes of general Ukrainian and speaking clubs for different levels. And right now, currently, we have 5 groups that are launching this spring in 2025. And you can go to our website, the link is in the description, to check what options we have and maybe to join one of our classes, because I think it could be very, very efficient way to upgrade your Ukrainian, to master it, to work with a professional teacher of Verba School, and just to feel more confident in speaking Ukrainian. So if you are interested, check the link and join one of our groups. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I will really appreciate your likes, your comments, because it helps me to push this video so it reaches more people. And also I want to especially thank all the sponsors of this channel, all the patrons, all people who support me on YouTube membership, for your support. It's incredibly important for me, and I'm really thankful. If anyone wants to support Verba School YouTube channel, you can do it through Patreon or YouTube membership. I will really, really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, guys, and see you next week. Good luck. I hope now you know how to create imperative mood in Ukrainian.